Okay, you guys, so I'm trans from Arizona, and I wanted to talk about how Arizona is in the middle of a national political assassination when it comes to Charlie Kirk and his assassination in Utah, and how Charlie is from Arizona, and his business is based in AZ. And it really just reminds me of what it's like growing up in Arizona and being in that space. But right now, it seems that a certain group of people are having this prosecution mindset when they're not really being prosecuted. And so I wanted to talk about my story of being trans in Arizona, being young in Arizona, and talk about the youth reaction to Charlie Kirk being assassinated and, how ASU is handling this situation because ASU, Arizona State University, is my alma mater, and there's a lot of differing opinions. I spent my formative years in Arizona, and to say that I ran into a lot of people like Charlie Kirk would be an understatement. People in AZ have a tendency of inflicting their religious beliefs and their ideals on people around them because honestly, there's just not much to do in AZ. So you get a lot of people who are religious fanatics and, want to spread their ideology amongst mostly queer people and black people. I'll never forget the prides and the festivals where there were protesters basically shouting the religious doctrine at us. And that's why I eventually created my own nonprofit and my own festival called the Black Arts Festival, and then Black Artists Found in Phoenix, or BAFIP.org, where I help Black artists find grants, wellness programs, and galleries to help them show their art. I did it because I understood that a lot of the rhetoric, a lot of the hate, a lot of the animosity that these Christians had towards us was because they didn't know us. They didn't know our art. They didn't know what we were passionate about, our community, and the love that we had for each other. What I didn't realize was there's no hate like Christian love. Listen to Representative Mace talking about the Kirk assassination.
Enough is enough. And now I have to deal with real safety concerns. It sounds like the shooter was a pro. And just because I want to protect women, that I'm worried about getting murdered? Are you me? It's out of control, and enough is enough. And I'm going to double down on this. I'm going to be more vigilant than ever. I'm going to be louder than I've ever been. And so it's got to stop.
Mind you, this is before we knew who the shooter was. Now we know that the shooter was white, the shooter was male, the shooter was not trans. But that didn't stop politicians from saying words like that, or from the Wall Street Journal from reporting that Kirk's shooting was linked to the transgender community. Now the Human Rights Campaign is demanding that they retract the report, but the damage has been done. We deserve honest, good takes from our publications and our politicians. Rhetoric like this has confused and endangered the trans community, but also the student population. Charlie Kirk mostly debated on college campuses, and I think looking at the youth's reaction is very indicative of where the country is right now. This is what ASU had to say.
An ASU professor who is the faculty advisor for the campus's Turning Point USA Student Club. He said he and other conservatives do not feel safe on campuses across the country right now as students still are absorbing the shock of Charlie Kirk's death in Utah yesterday. While physically coming and going to class here in Tempe, many students say their minds were elsewhere.
Do you feel,
I feel safe on campus?
Of course I feel safe, but I feel like the world is getting less safe.
Flags at the football field at half-staff to honor Charlie Kirk, as other students say they're back on campus after taking time away yesterday.
I was supposed to go to class, and I decided to not go to class because just that news is just so crazy that it's hard to even focus on what you're meant to be focusing on.
Philosophy professor Dr. Owen Anderson is the faculty advisor for the Turning Point USA Student Club. He says Wednesday led to shock, then concern for him and his students.
This immediately raises fears about safety for conservatives and Christians at our public universities.
Anderson attended events that Kirk held previously on ASU campuses. While ASU's website says they are committed to upholding free speech, Anderson says some students don't always feel like their opinions want to be heard.
We get in trouble for saying this.
He hopes in Kirk's death there can be a conversation around campus about how debate should never end in violence.
I'd love to see ASU address that problem and address the problem of conservatives and Christians being called horrible names and said they're attacking people when they're engaged in rational debate.
Others agreeing, adding not doing so would be un-American.
Especially the events that have happened this week. We should absolutely come together as one. We are one country under God, and I think that is something special that we have that is not like any other in the world.
Dr. Anderson did tell me that the Dean of Students for ASU reached out to him personally, offering any help to any Turning Point USA students on campus. The campus police would not go into specifics about any security changes they may or may not have made, but said the safety of anyone on campus is their top priority. Reporting at ASU, Adam Klepp, ABC 15, Arizona.
Noticeably, there were no Black, no LGBTQ plus students featured in that news clip. And I think that's indicative of what the culture is like in Arizona. Our voices, our opinions, our feelings are put to the side. When a conservative feels attacked, they tend to bash LGBTQ plus people. And that has trans students and gay students feeling very attacked on ASU's campus, but nobody's talking about that. I came out of ASU a new person. I was motivated to start my own business, to be around friends, family, and community members who understood my point of view. And I got into the arts. I got into the 2020 Black Lives Matter protests. I was able to do activism, but ASU seems like they're stuck in the past. You can see here Drag U is being shut down. Maricopa Community College has disbanded LGBTQ plus groups. And now we're having to find opportunities for ourselves and grow and become something different. But LGBTQ plus students deserve a say in what's going on in their lives, on their campus. And ASU holding a visual for Charlie Kirk does not align with what students want. We've talked to the youth. We've done the research. And BAF IP, Black Artists Found in Phoenix, always will be an open door for any students who feel affected by this Charlie Kirk situation and the language coming from ASU and the actions that they're doing. We want to be a resource for you. So go to bafip.org, sign up to become a member, join our community, because right now, more than ever, we need to be in community with each other. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. My name is Quinn, and this is BAF IP.